beyond. Go beyond. Go beyond the game.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Dingus Hammer. So, in the prep for the ETC, this time I was playing Vermin Swarm, and yeah, I decided that I need to practice against that. So, here we are. This time it's going to be in real life. That's what I was going to say. So the pictures may be chaotic at times because when you're playing the actual game, you can't record the whole thing. You have to remember to take pictures, and when it comes to remembering things, things happen. So here we go on the list. This is my list. If you want to, you can pause over here. You can see it. It's just a normal. This is my shooty ogre list that I'm practicing, that I'm taking with me to Italy. And I'm playing against Dennis, who is, let's say, vintage when it comes to list making. So he likes to do it the old way, write everything out in his handwriting. So he has a general. That's the demon. That's a tyrant, right? The priest adept. He has yes. He has the three priests. He has the, I think, where I can choose all the spells. He then, one of them is on the, both two of them are on the bells. One I think is on the old furnace. The other one is on the bell actually. Um, yeah, this is the gigantic construct. Okay, and he has, it's like, well, we're gonna go through it probably on the pictures of his army because it's so hard to actually see what's going on when you're not used to anymore the list written on with pen and paper. Uh, 35 and 32 Black Fair veterans, Legion standards on both, then 30 Vermin legions, 30 slaves, 32 Plague disciples with poison, 5 brutes, that's all those are actually not brutes, those are Millows with rotary guns, a cannon, and 2 are underground arena beasts, the random moving ones. So I decided to the objective was the deployment was normal. Objective was no, not normal. Sorry, the deployment was dawn assault, and the secondary was hold the center, as you can see on the center over there. So this is my deployment. That scraplings are not deployed over here. So on the left we got a cannon, tribesman, the Chaff Kitty behind, Catapult Bombardiers, big block of bruisers with all the characters. So over here Mando BSB, Yoda Shaman, Champion, and R2D2 General. Another cannon, Bombardiers, Catapult. He cut off this side of the map, so I decided to basically use this heal for getting the secondary objective. I dropped everything out, so um, I was afraid of his rotaries. They got to be behind the wall. So I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be doing any damage to anything that stands over here. This is what I did. Let's see. Okay, I need to zoom out. Some zoomed in picture, so it turns out I didn't have to zoom. And this is where the Dennis deploys. So those are the rotaries, the general. And here comes the problem. I never could have figured out which unit is what. So hard. I believe those were. I think those were the Vermin Guard, and those over here were Clan Rats. A-bomb with the random mover. Um, Slaves over here, Bell in the Storm Vermin, the Black Fur Veterans, and the Pendulum in the Disciples, and another A-bomb. So here, this is a more panoramic view of it, I guess, or is it already after? you know, it's a panoramic view. And oh yeah, this is where I scouted my Javas, the scrappings, making the water DT, and vanguarding over here to touch the hill. And on my first turn, I made the hill also DTs because I thought that we'll be fighting somewhere around here. I moved slightly forward, angled the bombardiers on this side. I'm gonna be trying to use the bombardiers to take the secondary objective, and and really pivoting nothing, not much, just like move the tribesmen along, but chaff myself here with scrappings, position the cannons. So just really just very conservative move forward, trying to put some wounds on his A-bombs and his blocks. So on my turn, I was able to put 4 wounds on the A-bomb, and I was able to put 3 wounds on the cannon over there. I wasn't able to finish any of them, which was kind of a sad panda. I was surprised though that he moved up with his rotaries on his first turn. He didn't take the easy comfort of sitting behind the wall, he moved them forward. And uh, he casted what do you call it, comet first turn, and he blew up his bell. So that working fine for me. And his A-bombs went kind of far for me, so I'm looking at this and like, huh. You have a wounded A-bomb that cannot flee, sitting right in front of my bruiser block. And then I measured some of the things and looked at my bombardiers can chaff the pendulum and the A-bomb. I'm not sure if I think there was a cat that actually could catch that also, but yeah, this is how it looked like. On his side, he put his general really close by, so he didn't have any charging ways to charge out from behind. So I'm like, interesting, interesting. Oh, he shot the cannon to my catapult. He put 1 wound. This is the comet that he sacrificed his bell for. This is all he gets. He tried to shoot down or magic down. I think it was magic down shooting down the Javas, and he failed to kill them. I passed the leadership, and this is my turn. So I decided that, you know what, screw it. Let's charge a Z-bomb, overrun into Vermin guard, right? And that's gonna be on his turn. I'm gonna be fighting Vermin guard. I'm gonna have in 2 rounds of combat. I should be able to kill them. I'll turn around, and then I'll be able to on my turn choose which direction I'm gonna charge. So it will be perfect opportunity for me. On the other side, I charged the Thunderhawks, the Mormellos with rotaries. I lost the guy somewhere in the process, I guess. So this is a picture of that. We're gonna have to spin this picture around a bit. So I was able to actually chaff with the cat, preventing anything from charging these guys. Moved things around, moved the bombardiers a little bit back. Jawas actually they charged a flank of the A-bomb to open up the tribesmen, and they failed. But they didn't fail very much, so they were able to move up. The A-bomb went by the hill, so it didn't take any DTs. And let's see when the comet falls down. But this is my turn. I'm trying to buff the tribesmen because after charging, I was like, you know what? Well, the toughness 5 and the strength 5, so the higher toughness, the higher strength, I have more attacks. But you know what? Probably I should buff the crap out of that unit. Oh boy. And this is what's happening after the comet falls down. So the comet falls down, kills the remaining Javas, kills two of the tribes, and put a couple of wounds on this catapult. Uh, doesn't reach there, so that's good. And it puts some wounds, I think, over here in the catapult also. But basically, I survived the comet, and I'll take the damage for all the damage that for losing the bell. So, of course, the plan before the game was just to chill, and the plan went to hell as soon as I got the opportunity to charge. So, I killed the A-bomb. A-bomb didn't even get to do much. I think I killed it even with the impact hits. I was able to overrun into the Storm Vermin, chaff the other Storm Vermin, and here we are. Chaff him with the cat, and he can bring the A-bomb to the flank. There was nothing stopping him from doing it, but there was a D3 Lord on the flank also. And he decided not to do it. He decided to charge the chaff. I passed the discipline check because my BSB is over here, my general is over here. And here we are. I win the combat with Thunderhawks, and this is the moment that I realized that I've done something stupid. So the reason why I was thinking that I should be staying back and shooting and magicking him first for a turn or two, a couple of turns, doing some damage, was because this guy makes them unstable. So they're not gonna lose the combat and flee from me. They're gonna crumble, and they're gonna not crumble enough to kill them. And so here we are. I'm like, oh shit, fuck me. I'm gonna be stuck with combat with those rat ogres now, and hope that he's not gonna be able to buff them too much, right? I actually didn't get any buffs off, so I don't remember what I got, but those were not buffs. I think I whiffed on the magic phase this turn. So I'm like, well, we won't have very fun time. He's hitting me on 4s, winning me on 3s, and it's like, how do I grind out the unbreakable, the unit of the unstable unit down? Well, yeah, I should have just basically pyro, make sure that this guy dies, especially the way that he was. I had a cannon shot at him. Of course, I missed a cannon shot onto him, but maybe I should have spent more time dealing with him, having him walk through the impassive, through the hill with dangerous terrains and things like that. But I didn't follow my plan, so number one, set up the plan. Number two, discard the plan without a good damn reason to do it. So that's my style of playing. I'm going to be doing a lot of turning around because I guess I suck at taking pictures. Here's what happened. The Avon went forward, didn't go enough. He killed the chaff, and he rolls box cards, and he gets into a second unit bombardier. Like, haha, that's gonna be fun. He also charges the bruisers, and in the ensuing combat, I'm able to wipe the whole unit of Vermin besides one guy. One guy stays over there. I'm like, shit. He kills the chaff, moves on the hill, takes some DTs, doesn't matter. And so instead of being able to reform and fight these guys, kill them off, I'm kind of stuck in a very awkward place. Over here, I'm winning the combat with Thunderhawks. I'm actually doing better than I thought, but I don't kill them fully, and now he's looking with his dictator at me. So here we are. I definitely didn't expect this to happen, which actually in the hindsight, it's probably not too bad, because if you pivot and turn around and face this direction, I would be probably in bunch more trouble. having flank, front, flank engage. I'd have to somehow figure out how do I win with this unit and have a general being able to fight the pendulum over here. It will be a lots of trouble. I'd have to figure out maybe I can march and chaff them somehow. Maybe with this unit march and chaff somehow. I'd have to figure out how the hell do I prevent from being sandwiched over here. But instead he overruns and gets outside of his range of general. And here we are. We still we tie for secondary. Only one unit over here. I think being in the range. And this is after the combat. So I actually wiped the whole unit over here. They crumble enough. And what's going on here, YouTube? And I guess I didn't kill all the Thunderhawks. So I pivoted, I reformed like that in the horde formation facing this direction. I want to deal with these guys. Also, I'm baiting the slaves to come in, please charge me in the rear. Because I thought that I'll be able to slaughter them in the rear, especially if they do a couple of wounds, one wound or so to the bruisers, then I'll open up my characters to be fighting also. It's like, yeah, go ahead, charge me, let's see how it's gonna go, you know. Here is the combat with the bombardiers. The bombardiers lose the combat, he pursues them and he kills them. And here we are. The A-bomb is also on the flank of mine, so that's why I have my general on the flank. Is just like, go ahead, get your A-bomb on the flank. I'll have D3 wound there on the over there also. This A-bomb is of course dead from the first get-go. I chuffed his Vermin guard, and I was able to put some wounds finally, 4 wounds on from the shooting on the general, but I cannot finish off this cannon, and that becomes a slight problem because now I'm on the flank and he can just shoot through my flank. So that hurts, but he actually decided to charge. So he charges my cannon. I think I catapulted this unit and did some wounds. He charges the chaff. He charges the demon into my tribesman. And the reason why I kept the tribesman over here was so that the demon would have a front instead of flank. That's why I didn't add any more models to be fighting there. So he got baited to this combat. I think I have -1 to be wounded on this unit. This is where I need to get the markers. I'm gonna write it down for etc for remembering which spells I have. And in the combat I challenged his lord and I finished off his Thunderhawk. So I basically wanted to survive this combat long enough so I can flank charge after winning with the slaves and the A-bomb and then overrun into the demon. But here we are after the combat. Actually, I kill the A-bomb and I win with slaves, but they don't crumble enough. I don't do enough to finish them off. He finishes off my my cannon, and he absolutely whiffs against my bombardier. And I moved him on the flank, and I'm like, I'm gonna be trying to kill your wizard next. Because why not? I turn around to face the slaves because at this point there is no downside. I'm gonna be that way having a pivot after winning this combat, but it's gonna be his turn, so we still tie the secondary. That's we didn't pay enough attention. I should have probably put the bombardier closer and get an extra secondary point. So that's my bet on this part. This was in the hindsight, it seems like a very sloppy game on my side. Just abandoning the plan, not taking enough care on the secondary objective and holding it and such. So he's only able to put a wound on the champion. I think I put a wound also because what he's trying to do is trying to pentagram of pain and heal himself a wound every time. He charged my scalpel. I killed the unit over here. He killed the bombardier. I think I killed his wizard, but he charged the scalpel. I fled. He tried to pursue. He didn't get very far. And he turned around over here to face me. I turned around over here to face him. And I still have 5 rank and file models, so this is where we are at. Oh. Okay, so he won with the round of bombardiers and actually charged me in the front. Oh, and he was able to survive the fight over here. So, well, this is where we are. And on my turn, I was able to win the combat with his guys, and he moves the Plague Disciples up. At this point, I'm looking at I can charge. I can try to kill all of these guys, and also instead of holding the secondary objective, I decided to charge. I decided to charge to try to kill this general, not to lose my tribesmen. I thought that basically general tribesmen. It's better to kill those. A bit better to kill the general and save the tribesmen than try to contest more the secondary. I was like, I'll try to kill all the leftover monks in the unit. Which doesn't happen because guess what? He ends up having actually one of them still in the unit as he moves up to the secondary objective. And I try to, after winning the combat, I try to get it closer to the secondary, but I'm too far, so he actually claims it. A very bloody battle. I ended up winning it. I think with secondary ending, I don't remember the exact score. I think it was 12-8. I'll try to see if I can count up the points. But thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and all this stuff. And I'll be coming up with the other, hopefully more organized battle reports for the next games.